The Provider Toolkit contains materials to support providers through their WA Cares Fund journey, including the steps to becoming a registered WA Cares provider. In this video, we will look at the resources available in the toolkit to support transportation providers in registering with WA Cares, including the documents needed to apply. On the Provider Toolkit page, select Transportation from the list of services at the top of the screen. Once the service is selected, the other services will be grayed out. As you scroll down the screen, find Resources for your application. The subsections, Application Details, and Sample Contracts will open automatically with the transportation documents highlighted, so you can easily find the resources for your specific service. You can select these documents to open them, or open them in a new tab by right-clicking with your mouse and selecting Open in a new tab, or by navigating to the link with the Tab key and then selecting the Control and Enter keys at the same time. The sample transportation contract will show the general and special terms and conditions, statement of work, and other contract obligations, such as insurance and billing requirements. There are no available subcodes for the transportation service. Review the Transportation Provider Application Details document before beginning the WA Cares provider application process. This way, you can gather all the necessary information and files in advance. On the first page, you will see instructions for the document, a general description of the transportation service, and the related laws, rules, and policies. The last two sections of this document are where you will find the minimum qualifications to become a registered WA Cares transportation provider, and the documents you must submit with your provider application. The minimum provider qualifications to become a registered WA Cares transportation provider are meet all Washington state laws to do business in the state, and city or county requirements if applicable. This includes having all required business licenses, endorsements, credentials, and certifications to provide the service. Both the agency owners and contract signatory must pass a Washington State Department of Social and Health Services criminal history background check during the initial application and during contract renewal. Starting in July 2026, either the contract signatory or owners must pass a background check, not both. This change will come once WA Cares Fund rule amendments are permanently adopted. Please check with the Department of Social and Health Services or the Area Agency on Aging processing your application if you have any additional questions. All employees, volunteers, and subcontractors who may have unsupervised access to beneficiaries must pass a criminal history background check, which must be conducted by the contractor prior to access and again every 2 years. The criminal history background check must at least include Washington State Patrol criminal conviction records and be kept in their personnel or subcontractor files. Meet the Department of Social and Health Services insurance requirements. You can find more about the insurance requirements in the Provider Toolkit under the section Resources for your application. Scroll down and select the arrow to expand the section Insurance Requirements. Here you will find a summary of the WA Cares provider insurance requirements. Have one of the following: Vehicle for Hire endorsement from the Washington State Department of Revenue, Auto Transportation Company certification, Charter and Excursion Bus certification, or Private Nonprofit Transportation Provider certification. If you scroll down to the Provider Contract section, you will find the required documents you need to submit with your provider network application. At this time, the provider network application cannot be saved and finished later, so it is recommended you collect all these documents before starting your application. You will need to upload the following documents with your application: a copy of your Washington State Business License or proof of exemption, a copy of your W-9 request, a copy of one of the following transportation certifications: Auto Transportation and Buses certification, Charter and Excursion Buses certification, Nonprofit Buses certification, or for-hire endorsement from the Department of Revenue. For the contract signatory and each agency owner with 5% or more ownership interest, you need to submit their full name, date of birth, and background check confirmation number. a current certificate of insurance that meets the insurance requirements. Unless you are a sole proprietor, you will need supporting documentation of the business organization. For example, list of partners, members, directors, officers, board members, etc. Your rates or pricing sheet. This is for informational purposes only. We recommend that you check the Provider Toolkit website often, as updated information is posted regularly. Save the links to the Toolkit's documents instead of any downloaded versions to make sure you are looking at the most up-to-date information.